All right, hey, this is Craig Ford, Mayor of Gadsden. Welcome back. I have Tena King with us, and we talk about how we have lanes, and just want to talk about a couple. You got a lot of lanes, Tina, but I wanted to talk about a couple of things that you've done to help the quality of life here in Gadsden, and some of the people will be interested in hearing. Let's discuss police first.
Okay.
That's a job in itself.
It is.
But I wanted to let the people know first, before we get started, how many policemen do we have approximately on staff?
We're at 78.
Okay, 78. And how many are we slotted for? Or how many would
We're
we
down.
hope to have?
We're down 31
31 police officers.
today. Now that could change tomorrow. We could be at 32 tomorrow.
And we did raise the pay.
We did.
And so we're very competitive. And if you're looking for a job, we'd love for you to interview, because we're trying to hire as many police officers as we
That's
can.
right.
So I'll turn it over to you. Tell us what's going on in the police department.
So the police department is an interesting animal in itself. When you took office, as you know, we had some cars on the road that were 20 years old. We had officers who had cars that their dashes were taped on with duct tape and things of that nature. So one of the first orders of business that you've taken care of is helping us secure 10 additional police trucks. We had 4 on order when you took office. Those were delivered. You've had those completely outfitted. Then we have 10 on order that we hope will be here in July, that we can get outfitted and get on the road maybe the end of August. And then we have 10 Tahoes on order that it looks like they're going to be built in maybe November. So they will probably get to us in January. So that gives us about 24 new cars.
Some people have said, why don't you get Ford Explorers?
Yes,
Yeah.
Explorers.
Can
yes.
you explain why we
Yes.
can't use Explorers?
So, if you've noticed, our officers wear a big belt.
Mm-hmm.
They don't wear that vest with everything on their chest.
Right.
Our officers still wear what's called a full duty belt, and that carries their gun, 2 different sets of handcuffs, their taser, a lot of different stuff. So our officers have a bulky waist.
And
So-
they still wear the bulletproof
and they
vest.
still wear the vest. So they can't fit into a chair this size comfortably, which is what you have in a Ford Explorer or a Ford Taurus or some of those cars that are just a normal size, not a larger SUV. So we are required to go to either a truck or a larger SUV just for our officers' safety. People don't understand that. You see different agencies driving different things, and it really depends on how the officers wear their safety equipment.
Me and you didn't make the decision. The police department, the chief made the decision. That's something they feel that keeps them safe, and we want to support them. And if it means we got to get a different type of vehicle, then we got to get a different type of vehicle.
Yes, and if you look at the research, it really does make more sense to have it at waist level than having to reach up here or if you're trained that everything's at waist level and then you move it, seconds are valuable when you're a police officer.
That's right.
So I feel more comfortable using what they're trained using and not trying to alter the model. I'd much rather change vehicles than change the model.
I would too. And one thing I wasn't ecstatic about were getting pickup trucks, but boy, they were. And I was like, well, this is great, because trucks are easier to get. And I
They
think
are.
we got some Fords, and I think now we're getting Chevrolets.
Yes.
Is that right?
So Chevrolet is actually getting into the police vehicle arena for the first time
Yes.
with trucks. They've been in with the Tahoes, but not with the trucks.
And it's good to have a mix, actually.
It is.
We've been told. So.
It is. And, we have some, believe it or not, we have some areas here that you need a truck to go
Yeah.
to. And the other thing is, these trucks aren't just a regular truck that you would run down and buy off the lot. They do have a what's called a police performance package.
Mm-hmm.
So the suspension keeps it from turning or flipping or rolling easier. It has a different size engine in it. The transmission's different.
Has the cage in the back.
It has the cage. We put the cage in. The seats are different. So there's some safety equipment in the vehicles as well.
We want our policemen to have, first, the right vehicles, but a safe vehicle. And one thing we heard was, hey, we can't catch speeders. We can't
Right.
catch the bad guy per se. because our vehicles won't perform.
That is
And
true.
that is, to me, that's just an oxymoron. There's no reason to have a police department if you can't catch the bad guys. So,
That's right.
So, this is something that we're really pushing towards. We've come up with some creative financing, I would say. We've gone down to the boneyard, we say, and,
boneyard,
and
yeah.
Kathy Jackson has done a great job
She
helping
has.
us in the fleet department. And it's just a new philosophy in our administration. And they would keep a bunch of old Chevrolet Caprices or whatever for parts. And our philosophy was sell them all on gov.deals. And if we sell 10 cars, only get 200,000, well, that's 2 trucks.
That's
So
2
we're going to start nickel and diming or knocking one off at a time. And it's difficult when you hire 10 new police officers, but you don't have vehicles for them.
Right.
And so you have to put them on desk duty, and you have to wait till somebody retires or resigns before they can get a vehicle to go back out on the road. Well, that's not the model we want.
Absolutely not.
And you've helped with that, and this has been all
It's-
credit to you, and we want to thank you for that. But
Thank you.
so I'm going to tackle something that people sometimes think we may not be doing a lot about, but I know we have gone leap years, and it's our Humane Society, our animal control. You told me something with Miss Gina Hollingsworth, who's been our animal task force supervisor. First, people are breeding animals, and they don't want to go to the Humane Society to pick up a dog, which is sad because I got Dollar's my dog, and he's as good as they come. And we found him in Eclectic, Alabama, at the Dollar General, and his
Dollar
name's
General.
Dollar. But he's the best dog in the world. These animals are precious. They're very adoptable. They need a home, a safe home, a loving home, and a caring home, dogs and cats. But a lot of people during COVID, can you explain to me about what happened during then? Because that was very interesting to me.
So during COVID, a lot of people were at home, and especially people that were home by themselves found that they needed an animal to keep them comfortable and keep company, basically. So they went out and adopted a dog or bought a dog, or however they came about having a dog. They have a dog now. Well, COVID's over. Everybody's back to work, back in the office, working their 8-9 hour days. And that dog is at home by itself. And these people are realizing, I can't care for this dog. It's tearing up my house. It's tearing up my apartment. So they just open the door and let it go. So we have a ton of animals on the street that are now homeless.
Right.
Because people just can't take care of them.
And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I think we have the best animal control officers in the South or the country. I mean, they take it serious.
They do.
I guess my number one call or Facebook message, whatever, all these ways you can communicate with me is about animals. And I just screenshot it, I forward it to you and forward it to Officer Hurd. And let me tell you, I get a response back, hey, we're on it, we'll look at it. I had a lady call me the other day, said, hey, I couldn't get to work on time. An animal had her pinned up against her door. Officer responded. Was able to capture the animal, take it to the Humane Society. Hopefully we can, if it's adoptable, we'll get it adopted. So that's the kind of stuff, the response that we need.
You know, we talked about outfitting the police officers and their needs. Well, animal control, when you took office, animal control did not have what they needed to do their job effectively either. And thanks to you, they now have cell phones, which are important.
Mm-hmm.
They can communicate. They have the chip readers that we've ordered,
Yeah.
so that if a dog has the chip, we can determine where it belongs.
They got new trucks.
They have a truck, which allows
Yeah.
them to go into the woods if they need to. We've hired 2 additional animal control officers, so now we have 4 animal control officers, which is huge. And we've also gotten them some training they needed, which is another huge component of having people to come work with us and stay with us.
So what does somebody do if they see an animal in their neighborhood? What do they do? What do they call?
So the best thing to do is call animal control.
Okay. How do they get that number? Is it just on our website?
It's on our website.
Okay.
Now, I don't know it right off either
Yeah.
because I just go straight to the cell phones
Yeah.
and call. And we also moved animal control to a much safer and better working environment. The building they were in, we condemned
Mhm.
because it was falling in literally.
Yeah.
So they're in a better environment now, too. And then, most importantly, you helped us with negotiations of the Humane Society contract. So we went through a period of time with the city of Gadsden where the Humane Society couldn't take our animals because they were overpopulated.
Right.
So now they're back to taking our animals, so we're able to get the animals off the street.
Well, you're being too gracious, but you did this, and so did a lady by the name of Gina Hollingsworth.
Jenna is
Jenna,
instrumental in this. But I do want to say this, and I want to be very clear when I say this. Not all dogs need to stay on this earth.
Yes, yeah.
Some dogs need to go to doggy heaven because they are ferocious. And if you
And-
don't believe me, just go to Facebook and look at the pictures under dog attacks.
And you hit on that, and I want to hit on a little bit. We have wild packs of dogs
Yes.
roaming neighborhoods
Yes,
that a lot, especially in District 5 and 6 and 7.
7.
But they roam through the mountains and on Knocklin Mountain, but they're wild animals.
They are.
And they're dangerous. And we've had some dog attacks, and we're trying to address this, but we're trying to capture these animals. It's no different than the bear we had in East Gadsden.
Right.
You know, so.
The only thing's the bear is protected,
Yeah,
the dogs
we can't
are
touch
not.
the bear. Don't shoot the bear.
Don't shoot the bear.
Yeah, but let us know if you see the bear. We have to be cognizant of that. And everybody loves dogs and animals, the furry ones that you can love on and you take care on and adopt and raise. So that was a good point. But so your next lane is public safety or
Yeah,
public
Public
works.
Works.
Yeah, public safety too, but public works.
Oh.
That's a whole bear in itself.
It
and
is.
Man, we got some good employees over there. Public works is trash, debris pickup, ditch cleaning, tearing down houses, cutting grass, you name it, they do it.
Street painting, light road maintenance.
Potholes, everything.
Yes, a lot of complaints in that area. Unfortunately, our equipment in that department is very antiquated.
Mhm. We're going to make sure we get them the right equipment.
Yes,
So I just want the taxpayer to know when we don't have the right equipment, we have the employees, sometimes they don't have anything to do.
right.
And, you know, their hours are 7 to 3:30 or 7:30 to 4 or 8 to 4:30. They want to work.
They do.
But we got to give them the proper equipment. And if you've seen the public works employees and you see them get a new piece of equipment when they go to work, you're talking about a morale booster, and they get more done and it's more efficient. We're not having that vehicle over at Fleet ordering parts that are on a 2-year back order. You know, so we have to get better equipment and newer equipment for
Yes.
our taxpayers, not just for our employees. But one thing you did do during the winter, which I loved, and Howell Matthews has done a wonderful job. We've refined the recycling center.
Yes.
You came up with a leaf pickup schedule, which is very important. We didn't have complaints this year. And then one thing that you're working on is the debris pickup. I learned a lot about the difference in trash, debris, limbs,
garbage.
and garbage. I'm like, wow, okay. But
I've
you want to
learned a
elaborate
lot
on
too.
that?
So we have, I think it's 7 trucks that can pick up. They're called claw trucks. That can pick up the big debris, the limbs and the big things. Once we get to the point where we have 5 on the road that are working, we can come up with a schedule. But until then, we can't come up with a schedule because, like today, this morning, I didn't call this morning, but on a typical day, we're down 3 or 4 of those trucks. We have 2 that are out right now getting new engines,
Yeah.
so that put us down to 5. We had one that the claw was messed up on that we couldn't use, so that put us down to 4, and that was yesterday. Until we can get 5 working trucks, whatever those look like.
And that's with us having 7.
Right, and that's
So we're
with
just
us-
counting on 2 being down all the time.
Right,
Yeah.
and in the perfect world, I would use the same model we're using with the police vehicles. I would take the 2 oldest vehicles we have and sell those 2 to buy one good one.
And that's what we're attempting to do right now.
That is correct. And
Yeah.
that's another thing, the supply chain still has us messed up
It
on
does.
getting these vehicles. We have sent a letter of intent to purchase 1 vehicle as soon as the new budget year starts. But we had to send the letter today
Yeah, to be able to
for
reserve it. Yeah.
for October.
Can you tell a little bit about our landfill? We moved Court Barber over that because that's a very important part of our public works.
Yes. So our landfill is very unique. Number one, a lot of cities don't have their own landfill. The county does, but the city doesn't. We have our own landfill. There is a small charge, but not if you are a city resident and have a city driver's license. And that is so we can get our city clean. We
That's
want
right.
you to be able to take your garbage and trash and dump it at the landfill. But what we don't want at the landfill is if you're remodeling your house or if you're tearing apart a car and throwing away parts, batteries, and that sort of thing. So when there's certain items that we can't take at the landfill, dead dogs, we can't take at the landfill. And then there's certain items we can take, household garbage, everyday garbage we take at the landfill. Other stuff has to go to the tip scale. If
Yeah.
it has to go to the tip scale, there's a fee.
So, and everybody knows I don't like litter, but we have 40% houses in our area approximately that are rentals.
Correct.
When somebody moves out, a lot of time the landlord is someone outside the city of Gadsden. And maybe the tenant has left a lot of trash or garbage in the house. That does not mean the landlord can locate all that trash and garbage and mattress and box springs and couches out to the curb.
That is correct.
So we're issuing fines, and we're serious about this. So, we cannot fill our landfill full of our outside the city tenant or landlords' garbage, per se.
We actually have an ordinance on the books against placing those items out there prior to the day. I think it's 24 hours prior to pickup is the window of placing those items out there. Now, one thing we are doing to maybe alleviate a little bit of that is the last Saturday of every month, we have the landfill open and the tip scale open. So if you're a landlord and your tenant has left all of this stuff, you can take it on that last Saturday, because a lot of landlords work during the week and they don't have time to do this during the week. And we're trying to be cognizant that people do work and offering that extra day,
I think that's
those extra
fabulous.
hours.
And we put gravel down. We've had complaints that you couldn't get up the hill,
Correct.
so we've done that. The recycling center is going well. We have our trailers back out in the community where we're collecting cardboard only.
Yes, so we have, I think, 30 trailers in the community, and I do want to say, this is not a big secret. We make money off of cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Gadsden makes money off of cardboard. So if you are one of those people that orders stuff, please recycle your cardboard. I mean, don't use your trash can for that. Take it. I promise you there's a trailer in your neighborhood.
So we take ours to your brown.
Yes,
and,
we do too.
I just throw it over the top and keep rolling. So.
Right. You talked about you want to clean up the city.
Mm-hmm.
We're not unique. There are other cities that are having the problems we're having. We are unique in that we are going to get ahead of this problem.
That's right.
We are going to clean up the city. We are putting up cameras. We have increased the fine for littering. We are extending the hours at the recycle center. We are extending the hours at the landfill. We are helping you clean up some. We are having houses torn down as quickly as we can.
That's right.
And
cutting grass.
And cutting grass. So we are doing our part to clean up the city, but we need everybody else to do their part too.
Yes. I am dead set on cleaning up this city, and I'll tell you the truth. It's everybody. It's the citizens. It's the employees. We just got back from a convention, another one, and some people go, "You can't believe you got to trust me. Look at my eyes. I'd rather be home in Gadsden." Because it's a lot of work, but I've enjoyed it. And one thing that we went to an Alabama reception. Cities all over the state of Alabama, we had more developers come up to us and say, "Well, y'all got it going on. We keep hearing what's going on." Had 2 developers come up to us and want to locate 2 box stores here, which would generate a lot of revenue for the city of Gadsden, and we were excited about it. So our story is getting out to the public. We're defining our narrative, and that was one thing we were serious about. So
before we sign off here, will you tell the story about riding around with the gentleman who was here scouting territory?
Oh, absolutely. So
'Cause
we had
people need to hear that story.
We had a potential investor come in here bringing an industry, and we brought him through one of the districts, South Gadsden, Walnut Park. When I picked him up, David Bronner used to tell us in the legislature, when you have a potential investor, get the pressure washers out and clean your sidewalks. Do the little things. The little things make a difference. And we noticed there were dumping sites coming through those neighborhoods. And I tried to turn when I saw one, and he saw it, and I tried to turn again. There was another one. And he said, "It looks like you got a litter problem here." And I said, "We do." Well, we met here at City Hall. We turned around, went back to the airport to deliver him to take off, and he saw something, and he said, "Can I give you one bit of advice? You need to fix your litter issue." And I said, I hear you loud and clear. So I don't know if that was the deciding factor, but I know it was in his head, and I'm in sales, and I know that matters. That was one thing that spoke volumes to me, and I remember when we recruited Hyundai to Greene County, Alabama. That was one of the things that they wanted to locate a little further south. One of the many reasons, but it was a cleaner, flatter, nicer area. And so the perception you put off, your first impression is everything. So,
Right.
But thanks for bringing that up. But listen, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
And we're excited. We got some big news coming out of Tena in the near future, and she's got some more stuff she's working on. But We just want to thank you for allowing us to share this time with you.